let's take a moment to talk about something that impacts millions of Americans every day: Social Security. Whether you're already retired, approaching retirement, or just starting to think about your future, understanding how changes in policy can affect your benefits is crucial. There have been some significant shifts in recent years, particularly with the previous administration under Donald Trump, and it's important to break them down so you can make sense of how they might affect your Social Security. Social Security has always been a lifeline for so many people. And for those of us who are retired or nearing retirement, it's often a major part of our income. But as we've seen in the news, there are serious challenges ahead for the system. Let's talk through what's been happening and how those changes could affect you, especially if you're relying on Social Security for your income during retirement. One of the key issues that Donald Trump campaigned on was immigration. He pushed for stricter immigration laws, including mass deportations of undocumented immigrants. On the surface, this might sound like a separate issue from Social Security, but it's more connected than you might think. Many undocumented workers in this country pay into Social Security through payroll taxes. Even though they're not eligible for benefits, they contribute to the system, but they can't claim retirement benefits, disability, or survivor benefits. It's estimated that undocumented immigrants contribute over $30 billion a year into Social Security. And here's the thing. Because they're not eligible to collect those benefits, their contributions are essentially a donation to the trust fund. That's money that helps keep Social Security afloat for everyone else. If Trump's policies had been implemented and millions of undocumented immigrants had been removed, we would have seen a significant drop in those contributions. Over a period of 10 years, this could have resulted in a $300 billion shortfall for the Social Security system. Now, let's shift to another campaign promise that Trump made: eliminating taxes on Social Security benefits. While that sounds appealing, particularly if you're someone who's already receiving benefits, it would have had a major financial impact on Social Security. Here's how it works. For many people, Social Security benefits are taxable. If you earn more, you pay taxes on your benefits. But for about 50% of people, they don't pay taxes on their benefits. The money that's taxed gets sent to the IRS, and then a portion of that is put into the Social Security Trust Fund. If taxes on Social Security benefits had been eliminated, that would have meant a loss of $60 billion a year in contributions to the trust fund. That's a big deal because the trust fund is what helps cover the gap between what's coming in through payroll taxes and what's being paid out in benefits. It's like a savings account that the system uses to cover expenses when there's not enough revenue coming in. Without that $60 billion, it would have sped up the depletion of the trust fund, which already faces a serious shortfall. Fortunately, this tax cut proposal didn't pass, but the fact remains that Social Security is still facing some major financial issues that need to be addressed. Now, let's take a step back and look at the bigger picture: the future of Social Security. According to the latest reports, the Social Security Trust Fund is projected to run out of money by 2034. If that happens, the program will only be able to pay out about 80% of the benefits it currently does. So, if you're receiving $1,000 per month, that could drop to $800, which for a lot of people would be devastating. If the changes Trump proposed had gone through, the trust fund could have been emptied much sooner, leading to even deeper cuts, possibly as much as 30%. But the problems facing Social Security aren't just about a shortage of funds. They also stem from the fact that for years, policymakers have failed to make the tough decisions needed to ensure the system's long-term survival. If something isn't done soon, we're all going to feel the pinch. And not just those of us who are already receiving benefits. Even if you're not yet retired, These changes will affect you when it's your time to rely on Social Security. So what needs to be done? First, it's clear that the system needs some major reforms. The most talked about solution is raising the cap on income that's subject to Social Security taxes. Right now, any income over $160,200 isn't taxed for Social Security, which means high earners aren't contributing as much as they should. If that cap were raised or eliminated, it could bring in billions of dollars and help stabilize the trust fund for years to come. Another solution being considered is raising the retirement age. This idea has been floated for years, and while it might make sense in terms of people living longer and staying healthier later in life, it's not an easy fix. For those who are in physically demanding jobs, or those who haven't had the luxury of a high-paying job, raising the retirement age could create more hardships. It could disproportionately affect low-income workers who may not live as long, or who don't have the luxury of retiring early. But no matter how we approach it, there's one thing that's clear. Social Security needs to be addressed now, before it's too late. The longer we wait to fix the system, the harder it's going to be to preserve it for future generations. If we don't act, by 2034, we'll be looking at a 20% reduction in benefits. That's a lot of money that could be taken out of your monthly check, which you've worked hard for and paid into for your entire life. There's a silver lining, though. In recent weeks, Trump has adjusted his position on immigration, particularly in industries that rely on undocumented workers. He shifted away from the idea of mass deportations in favor of more targeted actions, particularly in sectors like farming and hospitality, where many undocumented workers are employed. If these workers stay in the U.S. and continue contributing to Social Security, it will ease some of the financial pressure on the system. But even with this change, the larger issue remains. The Social Security Trust Fund is still running out of money, and we need a long-term solution. If you're currently receiving Social Security benefits or you're approaching retirement, it's important to stay informed about these changes. The more you understand what's happening with Social Security, the better prepared you'll be to make the right decisions for your future. And it's just as important to make sure that your voice is heard. Contact your political representatives and let them know that we need to fix Social Security, and we need to do it now. The system won't last if we keep kicking the can down the road. As you think about your own retirement, there are a few steps you can take to ensure you're making the most of Social Security. First, regularly check your earnings record. It's easy to assume everything is fine, but mistakes happen, and those mistakes could affect the amount you'll receive when you retire. If something looks off, don't wait. Get it corrected. Also, consider delaying your benefits if you're able to. For every year you delay taking your Social Security benefits after you reach full retirement age, your monthly check will increase by about 8%. If you wait until age 70 to start your benefits, that could be a significant increase, and it could make a real difference in your retirement income. And remember, Social Security isn't your only source of retirement income. While it's an important part of the picture, it shouldn't be your only source of support. Whether it's personal savings, a pension, or other investments, it's important to have a diversified retirement plan that goes beyond Social Security. Social Security has been a lifeline for millions of Americans, and it's crucial that we all take steps to protect it. It's not perfect, but it's something that we rely on, and it's worth fighting for. By staying informed and speaking up, we can ensure that Social Security remains a reliable source of income for future generations. So make sure you stay updated on the latest news and policies regarding Social Security. If you want to keep up with the changes and get more tips about maximizing your benefits, don't forget to subscribe You won't want to miss out on important information that could affect your retirement.